Along with us, I'm Scott Van Pelt. Ryan Clark will be with us as we bring you the post game. We'll visit with Joe and Troy in just a moment. Really entertaining ball game. There were a ton of penalties, but quite a lot of high-level play throughout this night as the Bills came out and ran it well. Of course, the Jets make a change on the coaching staff, and as we get down to it late, it's a 3-point lead for Buffalo, and it's Rodgers looking deep for Mike Williams, who slides down. And that allows a tremendous pick to be made to Ron Johnson there. From that point, it's timeouts and can you get a first down? And the answer to that question from Buffalo would be yes. Here on 3rd and 4, you have to figure it's Allen trying to make a play. And we often say, put on that Superman cape. And that's just what Josh does. First down, it's knees, and it's a celebration. Bills Mafia here cheering him on. He's with Laura Rutledge after the victory.
Josh, Aaron Rodgers trying to win the game, and your defense steps up big. Taylor Rapp all night, and Taron Johnson coming off of injury. What can you say about the job they did?
Oh, man, we found a way to win. Got sloppy there in the second half. Got to find a way to put more points on the board, but it was a team victory. We'll take them how we get them, and 4-2.
You wanted to play clean offense tonight. How did you do?
I thought we did okay. I missed a couple. Missed Dalton on a 3rd down. But you know what? Again, this is a gritty team, resilient group. I'm proud of my guys right now.
What was your favorite touchdown of the night?
All of them. All of them. They all had their own special flair to it. The one to Dawson was pretty cool. I stole one early from the running backs on that first drive. They were putting in the work, and we got down to the 1-yard line. It was going to me, so I feel bad for them. But both those guys stepped up. They played their tails off.
Did you know this is your 100th NFL game?
I did not know that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Go Bills.
Go Bills and the Bills Mafia, as I say. They travel well, and they are still here enjoying this one. We go up to the booth now. Joe Buck, Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. And gentlemen, when we talked pregame, we thought that this might be one of those games, right? That one of those rivalry games that's intense back and forth. It certainly was. The Hail Mary from Rodgers right before the half allows the Jets to creep closer. Ultimately, they tie it, some missed field goals. And in the end, Joe, Buffalo wins this game. They leave here atop the AFC East. Does that feel like the appropriate outcome based on the way the game was played tonight to your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, they ended up with more points than the other team, so they win. It was getting bogged down in the red zone.
Right.
Mistakes by the Jets, the 2 missed field goals, including one that was kind of a chip shot from one of the game's best in Greg Zuerlein. So, yeah, I mean, they made plays. Taylor Rapp made plays. Taron Johnson made that play with a pick. And that's how you win football games in the NFL. So they walk out of here at 4-2. And the Jets now have lost 3 in a row, and they're going to talk about it's a long season, and it is. But after all these changes, it's kind of the same frustrating result for the New York Jets, although I thought the offense looked a lot better here tonight.
I guess, Troy, what I'm getting at there is, to what Joe's alluding to, great teams figure out ways to win games, and mediocre and poor teams figure out ways to lose them. I'm not saying the Jets are mediocre or poor, but they are 2-4, and Buffalo's able to get the victory. Joe's right. The Jets look better. But what's Buffalo build on off of this victory after the last 2 games went the wrong way for them on the road?
Well, for Buffalo, it's not easy to win on the road, as we know, and you're playing a division rival. You're playing for first place within the division. So regardless of whatever it looked like for Buffalo or whatever you try to take away from and say, hey, we could do this better, you want a big game, a primetime game on Monday night that gets you atop the division. So it's a huge win for them, and they'll continue to build on that. So it's a good situation for them. For the Jets, on the other hand, as I said at the end of the game, that I don't know where they go from here, quite honestly, Scott, because this week with all the changes, and then you have some momentum coming in. You start to do some things better than what you had done them. And we see that from time to time when an interim head coach takes over and how a team might respond to that. But to lose the game the way they did with the penalties and the missed field goals and not capitalizing in the red zone and all those things, I just think it's going to be really hard on them. Short week now. I could see this totally unraveling. Maybe that won't happen. I know the players won't agree with that, but I could see it happening because I think they put so much into this week to winning a game and getting back on track. And the owner says this is the best team he's had in 25 years, all those things. But they didn't get it done. And so they're right back where they were. And now what's the answer for them? They don't have it.
Yeah, and it's magnified because it comes against an AFC East division rival, clearly, and Buffalo leaves here 4-2. Gentlemen, appreciate the time. Travel well. Look forward to next week. It's Tampa and Baltimore. Should be a great game.
Great one.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it'll be fun. Thanks, Scott.
All right, gentlemen, always appreciate you. And as Troy's alluding to, for the Jets, they got to hit the road, take on a Pittsburgh team who's 4-2. Buffalo will welcome Tennessee to Western New York before they hit the road for a trip to the Pacific Northwest to take on Seattle. By the time they face Miami back at their place, perhaps Tua is back. Adam Schefter alluded to that a little earlier tonight. That the winner would leave here leading the division, and that team, the Buffalo Bills, they leave here 4-2. You heard Troy Aikman, if you were with us post-game, don't know where the Jets go from here. This was a game where you thought the new coach might be an injection of life, and in many ways it was, but in the end, it's not enough. And new here on SportsCenter, your first opportunity to hear from the interim coach, Jeff Ulbrich, after the Jets come up short by 3.
It's not good enough. We got to collectively look at it, take a hard look at the tape, what's legit, what isn't, because it's always, there's always telling. From a discipline standpoint, though, that can't happen. It puts you behind the sticks, and it just puts us behind before we even get started. So it's wasn't good enough in that way. Offensively, I thought much better in the run game. I was proud of the way that they responded from the last couple weeks. Brees going over 100 yards, 20 carries, 119 yards, 6 a carry. That's winning football, in my opinion, from a run game perspective. I thought the passing game was exceptional as well. 7 explosive passes, 24 for 36, 296 yards. Now, where do we need to get better? The red zone efficiency, as we all saw. We got to be able to finish those drives and get points every single time. From a defensive perspective, just not the start that we're accustomed to having from this defense, so we got to have more urgency in all that we do. I thought we made a strong emphasis of this week. We will continue to do that, but it wasn't good enough to start. We made a huge emphasis on stopping the run, knowing that they'd be committed to it. It's kind of been the signature of the Bills' offense this season, and we did not do that. 150 yards, 4.7 a carry, 4 explosives. That's not winning football from a defensive perspective, and that's on me. That's on every player. That's on every coach. That's on all of us. It's a collective thing, and we'll get that fixed.
Plenty good, but plenty to fix. The Jets did better, certainly on offense. Too many miscues to overcome. Not one, but 2 missed field goals. If you saw the Giants game here on Sunday night, the wind wreaking havoc on field goals. They were hooking wildly. There were also 11 penalties in this game that was just plagued with flags on both sides. The Jets also 1 of 4 converting red zone drives into touchdowns. That's really the money stat in the NFL. Also